In this question, we are given that x and y are integers. Now, this is the first step in a DS question where you need to write down the information which is given in the question stem and also, make possible inferences about it. But definitely we cannot make any inferences here as we only know that x and y are integers. So at the most we can say that they can be positive or negative. We have to check if x is greater than y. Now, no other information is given, so we'll move on to step 2 and analyze statement 1. So, in statement 1, we are given that x plus y is greater than 0. Now, a lot of students might infer that the individual values of x and y are greater than 0. But be aware of this, guys. This is a trap. This is an incorrect inference that you can make from here. The individual values may or may not be greater than 0, but the sum can definitely be greater than 0 for some values of x and y. Now, to understand this, let's make a table, okay, where in the first column we will try to use the nature of x, the second column we will try possible natures of y, and then ultimately such that the nature of x plus y should be positive in all the cases. Okay, and in the last column we will consider the cases about which variable is greater than the other. So in the first case that we have, suppose say x is positive and y is positive. Now this is the most generic case that might come to your mind initially after looking at this statement, right? But what inferences can you make from here? So the first inference that you can make from here is that x can be greater than y, x can be less than y, x can also be equal to y, right? So you're not getting any definite answer from this case. The second case possible is when x is positive, y is negative, and keeping in mind that x plus y has to be positive, definitely the magnitude of x has to be greater than the magnitude of y such that the sum is greater than 0. Okay, so the inference that you can make from here is that x is greater than y. So you can answer the question with a yes over here. Okay, and in the first case, like we said, no answer. The last case possible is when x is negative, y is positive, however their sum is greater than 0, which is positive, but in this case x will be less than y, and in this case we can answer the question with a no. So in all these three cases we can see that the sum is greater than 0, however we are getting different inequality sign for x and y, right? So this makes the statement 1 not sufficient, and out of the given answer choices I will eliminate answer choice A and D. Moving on to statement 2. Now, statement 2 tells me that y raised to the power x is less than 0. Now, from this, the only inference that you can derive, that you can make, is that y has to be negative, right? And x will be odd. Okay, this is the only inference that you can derive from here. Now, let's take some values, okay, to see if the statement satisfies or not, if it's sufficient individually or not. So, case 1. Let's take the value of y as minus 3, and since x is odd, so taking the value of x is minus 5. So y raised to the power x will be nothing but minus 3 raised to the power minus 5, which will definitely be less than 0, right? And in this case, we can see that x is less than y, so we can answer the question with a no, right? Now let's consider another case where y equals minus 3 and x equals 5. So y raised to the power x is going to be minus 3 raised to the power 5, which is also less than 0. However, in this case, x is greater than y, and we can answer the question with a yes. So two contradictory answers, guys, from one statement only. This makes the statement 2 also not sufficient. And we will move on to the last step, which is step 3, and see if the statements combine to give an answer or not. Now, as per the information given in statement 1, we have the whole table here, right? We have the three cases. And as from statement 2, I know that the nature of y is going to be negative. Okay, and x has to be odd. So if we have to combine the two statements, right, we have to consider the common values. Now, if you see y is negative in only the second case, so case 1, case 3 in the table is eliminated, and only case 2 is a valid one in the table. And from case 2, we can see that it's clearly possible to infer that x is greater than y. So after combining the information from statement 1 and statement 2, we can say that x is greater than y and answer the question with a definite yes. And hence, the statements together are sufficient, and the correct answer choice is option C.